Bertram's mama was getting ready to go to a white elephant sale at the Ladies' Aid Society. Bertram said, "Mama, will you bring me home an elephant?" "An elephant," said his mama, "but they're not going to sell real elephants at this sale." "Well, what do they sell then if they don't sell elephants?" asked Bertram. "Oh, I don't know," said his mama. "They just sell odds and ends, just anything that's an elephant on your hands." "Don't people want elephants?" Bertram asked. "I should say not," said his mama. And Bertram said, "Gee, if I had an elephant, I'd play circus." "Yes," said his mama, "then I'd have to make pink lemonade for you, and you'd go tracking sawdust through the house, as if I didn't have enough to do already. And anyway," she said, "after you'd played circus once or twice, you'd probably get sick and tired of it." But Bertram said, "Oh, no, I wouldn't, Mama. I could play circus forever." That afternoon, Bertram was riding his red velocipede down Elm Street, and there on the corner was a sailor who was leading an elephant by a string. And the elephant was for sale, cheap. There was a sign on him that said so. Bertram said, "Hello, what's the matter with that elephant? Don't you want him?" The sailor said, "No, I should say not. All he can think of is circuses, circuses, circuses." Well, now, that was just what Bertram wanted. So he bought the elephant and took it home and put it in the basement. Bertram said, "Can you do any tricks like rolling over and pretending dead?" The elephant laughed and said, "Ha, tricks, mercy, yes. Trixie's my middle name." "Well, what's your first name?" said Bertram. "Ebenezer," said the elephant. "Ebenezer Trixie Elephant, that's me. Now, I'll tell you what, let's have a circus." "Oh, good," said Bertram, "let's do." Then the elephant said, "First you make a ring in the backyard and put sawdust in it, and borrow a cat and a dog or two for the menagerie." And Bertram said, "How about pink lemonade?" "Sure," said the elephant. "Your mama can make oceans of it." "Will that be all?" asked Bertram. "Oh, my, no," said the elephant. "You can dress up like a clown and jump around and yell, 'Hi!' and turn somersets. You can turn somersets, can't you?" "Oh, yes," said Bertram, "and I can stand on my head, too." "Bravo!" said the elephant. "Tomorrow, then." So Bertram got busy and made a circus ring and borrowed ladders for circus seats, and he painted a great big sign that said, "Greatest show on earth, admission 10 peanuts." When his mama came home from the white elephant sale, Bertram showed her his elephant. "Just think," he said. "His name is Ebenezer, and he does all sorts of tricks. Tomorrow we are having a circus, and we will need pink lemonade, oceans of it. Ebenezer says so." "I might have known it," said Bertram's mama. Then Bertram ran over to Ginny Banning's house and borrowed Ginny's French poodle, whose name was Tony, and her Persian kitten, whose name was Celeste. Then Bertram found 2 packing boxes, and he made 2 cages so that Tony could be a lion and Celeste could be a tiger. Then he went next door and borrowed one of Mrs. Cree's chickens for an ostrich. When the elephant saw what Bertram had done, he said, "Fine, now let's see. You must invite the mayor, of course, and put the peanuts where the policeman can't reach them." "How about a band?" asked Bertram. "By all means," said the elephant. And Bertram said, "Will combs with tissue paper over them do?" "They'll do," said the elephant. "And perhaps Jew's harp and dishpan drum. Now you must scrub me and polish my toenails." So Bertram scrubbed the elephant with a floor brush and polished all its toenails with a dish towel. Everything was ready for the circus tomorrow. But just then it got to be Bertram's bedtime. So while Bertram was getting a good night's sleep, we'll just turn the record over, and then it will be nearly time for the circus to start. Everything was ready for the circus, and the next morning Bertram's mama made a whole tub full of pink lemonade. Ginny Banning and another little girl played on the combs. One boy played the Jew's harp. Another beat the drum, and somebody else brought a mouth organ. Bertram's Aunt Ella and his great Aunt Jane came in their best black beaded dresses, only of course they sat on dining room chairs. The mayor sat in a rocking chair and fanned himself. Then the show began. Bertram came out dressed up like a clown. He had used white grease paint on his face and made red dots on it with his mama's lipstick, and he was leading the elephant. Bertram said, "Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to present the great Ebenezer Trixie Elephant." The band began to play, and the elephant walked on his hind legs and rolled over and pretended he was dead. He tried to dance on Bertram's mama's wash tub, but he stepped too hard and broke it all to pieces. The mayor clapped his hands and said, "How very clever! How entertaining! How instructive!" Then Bertram jumped around and yelled, "Hi!" and he stood on his head and turned somersets until he was dizzy. Then, when he wasn't expecting it, the elephant stretched out its trunk and tripped him up. Bertram came down with an awful thump, and he looked so flabbergasted that the audience just roared. Then the elephant snuffed up a lot of water in his trunk and squirted it all over Bertram, and the audience thought that was funny, too. After the show, the elephant said to Bertram, That was a superb performance, if I do say so myself. How clever I am. How intelligent. Did you see my tricks? Yes, I did, said Bertram. Only couldn't you leave out that part where you trip me up and where you squirt that dirty water all over me? That's no fun. No fun? Exclaimed the elephant. You mean to tell me you didn't hear the audience yell? That was the funniest part of the show. Well, said Bertram, it wasn't a bit funny for me, for Bertram had black and blue marks on him, and he was cold from having water squirted all over him. Now, said the elephant, now you must scrub me and polish my toenails. While Bertram was doing that, the elephant sighed and said, circus life's a hard life, but I don't mind hard work if I can please my public. If tomorrow's show is only as good as today's. But Bertram was sick and tired of playing circus, and he said, couldn't we skip tomorrow and have another show next week sometime? Oh, never, said the elephant. We must go on with the circus, rain or shine. Even if it rains? Asked Bertram. Of course, what's a little rain to a circus performer? Said the elephant. Well, the next day it did rain, and the backyard was a sea of mud. Bertram's mama only made one pitcher full of lemonade, and she said, I can't understand why you still want to play circus, and on a day like this, too. Only 2 boys and Ginny Banning came to the show, and they had to wear rubbers and stand under an umbrella. Bertram had to jump around and turn somersets in the mud and yell, hi! And when the elephant tripped him this time, Bertram sat down kersplash, right in the middle of a big puddle. Then the elephant squirted muddy water all over him. When the show was over, Bertram was a sight. The next morning, Bertram was going to tell the elephant that there wouldn't be any more circuses, but before Bertram could say anything, the elephant said, but you'll have to turn the record over to hear what the elephant said. Bertram was going to tell the elephant that there wouldn't be any more circuses, but before he could say it, the elephant said, today we'll have 2 performances, afternoon and evening. We'll need torches to light up the evening show, so you pick some cattails and soak them in coal oil. Wait a minute, said Bertram, but the elephant went right on talking. He said, and I've just thought up a new trick. You grab me by the tail and start to yell hi. Then I'll be up with my hind legs and send you spinning smash into a basket of eggs. Bertram said, but eggs are expensive and it's wrong to waste food. Just before circus time, Ginny Banning came over on her roller skates, and she said, guess what? Celeste has climbed a tree, and Tony has crawled under the porch. What will you do for a lion and a tiger now? Bertram said they'd just have to get along with the elephant and the ostrich, and of course himself. The afternoon show was a mess. They didn't have Tony and Celeste for lion and tiger, and the boys from across the tracks came to the show. They acted just awful and whistled and stamped their feet and threw things into the circus ring. Bertram's mama had to call a policeman, and the policeman stayed to watch the show and helped himself to the peanuts. Then Bertram started to climb up the elephant's tail, and the elephant sent him spinning smash into the basket of eggs. Bertram got egg in his hair and more egg in his ears. He was a sight. His mama said, now look what you've done, tracking egg yolk and mud and sawdust into the house as if I didn't have enough to do already. By the time night came, Bertram was almost too tired to live. After the show, Bertram was all black and blue from being bumped so much. But when he was putting the elephant away for the night, the elephant said, I'm a little tired tonight. 2 shows a day, you know. I'll just ask you to rub the muscles of my legs. So Bertram did. Thank you, said the elephant. Now do the same with my trunk. When Bertram came upstairs, his mama said, I should think you get sick and tired of playing circus, getting bumped around and smeared up with eggs. What fun do you get out of it anyway? Then she washed the egg out of Bertram's ears and sent him to bed. That night Bertram made up his mind, and the next morning he told Ginny Banning about his plan. Then Bertram said to the elephant, let's have a parade today, and the elephant said, fine, and I'll let Ginny Banning ride on my back. Bertram went into the house and got something. He handed it to Ginny, who was sitting on the elephant's back. What's that? Asked the elephant. Oh, it's just a flag, said Bertram, but it was really the sign that said, for sale, cheap. Ginny tied it on, and she began to play a tune on her comb. Down Elm Street they went, Bertram leading the parade. When they came to the place where they were having the white elephant sale, Bertram told Ginny and the elephant to wait a minute. Then he went inside and asked the ladies if they were having an elephant sale. And of course they said yes. Then Bertram went outside, and Ginny slid down from the elephant. And both of them pushed and shoved and shoved and pushed, and before the elephant knew what was happening, he was inside the door of the bazaar. My, but those ladies did scream, though. Bertram shouted, "His name is Ebenezer." Then he and Ginny Banning ran faster than they had ever run in their whole lives. And when the ladies peeked out of the door to look for them, Bertram and Ginny were out of sight. And that put an end to Bertram's circus days.